In this video, we're going to look at an easy way for students to use Nearpod and Zoom at the same time. This will be part one. We'll look at it from the teacher side, and in part two, we'll look at it on a Chromebook from the student side. So the first thing to see here is we have our Nearpod library. When I hover over a Nearpod lesson that I've created, I have three options. We're going to look at the live participation plus Zoom. If you are not seeing that in your Nearpod libraries, it may be because as a school account, district, or higher ed account, you have to actually reach out to your Nearpod customer service person and they can set that up for you in your account. That's what we did in our account, which is a school account, and they can make sure that that is set up for you. So that's already paid for, but you just have to ask them to make sure it's set up. Then once that's set up, you'll have this option. You can launch this lesson as live participation plus Zoom. I'm going to launch a new live participation, so I get a new link. I can make this a Zoom meeting, but when I do that and I create my Zoom meeting, I'm going to have the opportunity to wait to start. Choose wait to start because if you start the Zoom now, you're going to have to keep that Zoom meeting open until whenever it is that kids are joining. So we're going to wait to start and we're going to capture our link, copy it. I'm going to put it into a Google Classroom. You could obviously put it into a Seesaw instead, or whatever your LMS is, or wherever kids are accessing lessons. So here's a assignment in Google Classroom, and I'm just adding it as a link. And now when I assign that, students will have a link. When they open that link, it'll open the Nearpod, and it will also open your Zoom at the same time. So this is what their assignment will look like. And in part two, I will show you what this looks like with a Chromebook from the student side. In part two of this video, we're going to look at the student side of how we can use Nearpod and Zoom together at the same time. So the teacher has already launched a Nearpod plus Zoom lesson. They have already copied that link and put it into the LMS. In this case, we're going to look at Google Classroom, but it could be Seesaw, Canvas, whatever the LMS is. They put the link in, and the teacher has now gone in and, in preparation for this lesson starting, has gone back to Nearpod. And before, where we said we were going to wait to open the Zoom, they are now opening the Zoom. They have to open the Zoom from Nearpod, not just open the Zoom meeting, but they go to Nearpod, they go to that lesson, and they now choose to open the Zoom. If they open the Zoom before any students get on, great. When I get on my Nearpod, I'll see that the Zoom prompt will come up for me to join the meeting. If the teacher doesn't open the Zoom until after some of the students are on, that's fine too. Kids will get into Nearpod, they'll work in Nearpod, and as soon as the teacher opens that Zoom, it will be a prompt to get there. So I'm the student, I go to my classwork for today. It's Thursday, August 13th. I click on this link that the teacher created for me in my LMS, and as soon as the Nearpod opens, I am automatically prompted to join the Zoom meeting. Now I have the Zoom meeting popping up. Teacher will have to let me in. Now I'm coming in from the waiting room. I have my Zoom meeting and I have my Nearpod is still here. So now the last thing I have to do as a student, I just have to learn how to split my screen, which is pretty simple with my Chromebook. I'm going to drag this one over until I see that half. If I drag it a little bit, it's going to fill the whole screen. If I drag it all the way over until I see that half light up, I drop it there. Now I'm going to take my Nearpod and do the same thing. I'm going to drag that window over until I see my half. And I'm going to drop it. I can close this. and I have my half screen Nearpod and my half screen Zoom lesson.